Preparing a tender. A tender can be prepared as soon as the project is registered at the Bsdq. It will be recorded in the company's account and available for all amendments until its closing date and time at Bsdq. To begin a tender, do a project search and then check the box next to the project number and click Prepare a Tender. The tender form is displayed, offering several tabs to complete. By default, only the Tender tab is available. All fields marked with an asterisk are mandatory to deposit a tender. The other fields may be completed depending on the requirements of the tender documents. Here is an overview of the fields and their functions. TES tender number is a number automatically generated by the TES. Status shows the tender status. Entered means the tender is in preparation. It can be changed at any time. My Reference allows the company to enter its own reference name or number, which makes it easier to search your tenders. Bsdq project number and closing at Bsdq show the project description and its closing date at Bsdq. These 5 items are always visible no matter which tab is selected. The architect and engineer fields are to enter the names of the firms. These fields are for information purposes only. In the Specialties section, select the specialty group using the drop-down menu. Available specialties are listed in the column on the left. You have to select the specialty or specialties and use the arrows in the center to transfer them to the column on the right. Selected specialties. In the Price section, if the amount of the tender is calculated by the unit, select Unit Price and enter the details in the appendix. If the tender is calculated at a fixed price, select this option and enter the total amount in the Tender Amount field, in letters and in numbers before taxes. The taxes must be collected manually. This is not a mandatory field, but make sure to check the requirements in the tender documents. Plan numbers and dates, specifications and dates, and addendum and dates are mandatory fields that allow you to enter the documents that were used to prepare the tender. The appendix is used to enter any additional information or clarifications requested in the tender documents. The Attestation du Revenu Québec Certificate from Revenu Québec field allows you to attach or explain your intentions with regard to the Revenu Québec certificate. If the first box is checked, a Choose File button will appear and allow you to retrieve the saved PDF file to attach it to the tender. The second box allows you to inform the recipient contractors that at the time of deposit, the certificate is not attached, but that it will be provided on request. If neither option is selected at the time of submission, the TES will display a message saying nothing has been reported in the Attestation du Revenu Québec certificate section, but it will not prevent the deposit of the tender. In the file number at the Régie du Bâtiment de Québec field, carefully enter the company's RBQ number. To save the tender for the first time, click OK at the bottom of the page. If any mandatory fields have not been entered, a reminder will appear. Click OK. You do not have to complete the entire Tender tab in order to save. It is recommended that you select the OK button often to ensure your changes are saved. To add information to the Tender tab, click Modify. To save changes or information recently added, click the OK button. The Recipients tab allows you to select which recipient contractors will receive the tender. Select Add. A window will open. By default, the Search Only in My Favorite Recipients option is selected, and the list of favorites will be displayed. This list can be changed by selecting it in the drop-down menu and clicking Search. To add recipients to the tender, check the box next to their name and click Add to List. The TES will confirm whether the names were successfully added. Click OK. To add recipients from the search within the interested recipients on this project list, select Search. A warning message will appear stating, "The list includes only recipients who voluntarily indicated their interest." Click OK to continue. To add recipients to the tender, check the box in front of the name and click Add to List. The TES will confirm whether the names were successfully added. Click OK. The Search in All Bsdq directory option lets you search for a specific recipient. Enter a keyword in the name field and click Search. To add the recipient to the tender, check the box next to the name and click Add to List. The TES will confirm whether the names were successfully added. Click OK. Once all the additions are made, click the Return to List button. The search window will close and all the names of the tender recipients will be displayed. To change the amount, the appendix, or the appended documents of specific recipient contractors, check the box next to the recipient's name and click Modify. Under the list of names, the modifiable information will be available. Complete the appropriate fields and click OK to save. To delete one or more recipients, check the box next to their name and click Delete. The TES will open a warning message. Click OK. A confirmation message appears. Click OK. The Copy Recipient tab allows you to send a copy of the tender to the project professionals. Awarding authority: architect, engineer, and/or administrator. To send a copy of the tender, click Add. A search window opens. By default, the list of copy recipients known to the Bsdq at the time of the project registration is displayed. Check the box next to the names of the professionals you wish to add and click Add to List. The TES will confirm whether the names were successfully added. Click OK. To add a copy recipient other than those known to the Bsdq, select the Bsdq directory option. Enter a keyword in the name field. Select the type using the drop-down menu and click Search. The search results will appear. Check the box next to the name of the professional you wish to add and click Add to List. The TES will confirm whether the names were successfully added. Click OK. Once all of the additions are made, click the Return to List button. The search window will close and all the names of the copy recipients will be displayed. To delete one or more copy recipients, check the box next to their name and click Delete. The TES will open a warning message. Click OK. A confirmation message appears. Click OK. The Security tab allows you to attach a security in the form of a bond or an electronic bank payment through your financial institution. By default, the No Security for this tender option is selected. To attach the bond, click Modify. Select the Attach a Bond to the Tender option and choose the appropriate bond. It is important to know that the bond must be signed before it can be attached to the tender. To sign the bond, please view the bonds video. To save the change, click OK. To provide a security by electronic payment, click Modify and select the Provide a Security with this tender option. Enter the payment amount in the appropriate field and click OK. The TES displays a reminder message to ensure you do not forget to make the security payment. A reference number for security payment is generated automatically. Take note of this number for the purposes of making the electronic bank payment through your financial institution's banking service. The payment must be made before the project closing date and time at Bsdq. The Appended Documents tab allows you to append up to 5 PDF documents per tender. Select Add. Use the Choose File button to find the target document. Select it and click OK. To remove a document from the list, check the box next to the document name and click Delete. Once all the tabs are completed and the tender is finished, you can deposit your tender. Go back to the Tender tab and click Deposit. The Tender's Deposit window lets you view the tender in a single document using the See Tender link or view the bond using the See Bond link. The Sole Tender section lets you select the option Do not forward the tender if I am the only bidder in my specialty, according to Section G-2 of the Code. If this box is checked and the tender is unique in its specialty, it will not be forwarded to the recipient contractors. If the box is not checked, the tender will be forwarded automatically. Enter the password as your electronic signature in the password field and click Deposit. A reminder window appears. Do you really want to deposit this tender? Click OK. As soon as the tender is deposited, the TES automatically confirms reception by issuing a confirmation receipt. This can be printed using the Print button. It will also be emailed to the company's users based on their profile. A deposit will be withdrawn from the company's deposit balance. To return to the tender, use the Return button. The status of the tender is now deposited and the date and time of the transaction are shown.